Hi, dear listeners. Welcome to our English Learning Podcast. I'm James, and today we're going to talk about ways to improve your English. I'm here with Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, James. Hello, everyone. We're excited to share some great tips on how to learn English quickly and effectively. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated with our latest podcasts.
Any of the first tips I have is to practice English every day. Even if it's just for 10 minutes, consistency makes a big difference. What do you think, Sarah?
That's a great tip, James. Small, daily practice helps you get better at English over time. Reading books or articles in English, or even watching short videos, can really help improve your vocabulary.
Another important tip is to focus on listening. By listening to podcasts, songs, or news in English, you'll naturally learn pronunciation and sentence structure. What's your experience with this, Sarah?
Yes, I agree. Listening helps you understand the language better. It's also useful to repeat what you hear to improve your speaking. Practice listening and repeating, and soon you'll see a lot of improvement.
Speaking of repeating, speaking is one of the best ways to learn. You can talk to yourself, record your voice, or practice with a friend. How do you usually practice speaking, Sarah?
I like to have conversations in English as often as possible. Even simple conversations can help. It's not about being perfect, but about improving your confidence. Keep practicing, and you'll become a better speaker.
Another tip is to learn new words every day. Make a list of useful words and try to use them in sentences. It's a great way to expand your vocabulary. How do you learn new words, Sarah?
I try to learn at least 5 new words each day. Using them in sentences or while speaking with others helps me remember them better. It's important to not just learn the words, but also understand how to use them in context.
Don't forget about grammar. Understanding basic grammar rules will help you speak and write correctly. I recommend starting with simple rules and building from there. What's your advice on grammar, Sarah?
I agree. You don't need to know all the rules at once. Start with the basics, like present, past, and future tenses. Once you're comfortable, you can learn more complex structures. Take your time and learn step by step.
Watching English movies or TV shows is a fun way to improve your skills. You'll learn how native speakers talk and use everyday language. Do you have a favorite show you watch to learn English, Sarah?
Yes, I love watching English shows with subtitles. It helps me understand the dialogue and learn new words. Try watching shows you enjoy, and it will feel less like studying and more like entertainment.
Reading in English is also important. Start with easy books or articles and gradually move to more difficult texts. It helps you learn new words and sentence structures. What do you like reading, Sarah?
I love reading short stories in English. They're not too difficult, and they help me understand how words are used in context. Reading helps improve both vocabulary and comprehension skills.
One of the best ways to improve quickly is to set small goals. For example, learn 10 new words each week or listen to an English podcast daily. Setting goals helps you stay motivated. Do you set goals, Sarah?
Yes, I do. I set weekly goals, like practicing speaking for 20 minutes each day or finishing a book in English. Achieving small goals gives me confidence and keeps me motivated to keep learning.
Using language apps can also help you improve fast. They're fun and interactive, making learning feel like a game. Have you used any language apps before, Sarah?
Yes, I use them all the time. Apps like Duolingo or Babbel are great for learning vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. They're easy to use, and you can learn on the go, even if you're busy.
Practicing writing is another great way to learn. Start with simple sentences or short paragraphs and then try writing longer pieces. How do you practice writing, Sarah?
I keep a daily journal where I write in English. It doesn't have to be perfect. The goal is to practice. Writing regularly improves your ability to express yourself in English, which is very important.
Another useful tip is to think in English. Instead of translating from your native language, try to form sentences directly in English. How can beginners start doing this, Sarah?
Start by thinking about simple things, like what you need to buy or how your day is going. The more you practice thinking in English, the easier it becomes. It's a great way to become more fluent.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are a part of learning. The more you practice, the better you'll get. How do you handle making mistakes, Sarah?
I always remind myself that mistakes are part of the process. The key is to learn from them. Don't be too hard on yourself. The more you practice, the more you'll improve.
Lastly, immerse yourself in the language as much as possible. Surround yourself with English through media, books, and conversations. How can learners create this environment? Sarah, you can change your phone settings to English, listen to English music, and watch English videos. The more English you hear and see, the faster you'll improve. Immersion is one of the best ways to learn quickly. The poor man in the city. Once there was a man named Jack who lived in a busy city. He didn't have much money and struggled to make ends meet. Every day he would walk through the crowded streets looking for work. The city was full of opportunities, but for Jack, it seemed like luck was never on his side. Jack lived in a small, run-down apartment. The building was old and the walls were cracked. But despite his situation, he never lost hope. He believed that one day things would change for him. Every night, he would dream of a better life where he had enough money to live comfortably. One day, while walking through the city, Jack found a wallet on the street. Inside, there was a large amount of money. Jack thought about keeping it, but his conscience wouldn't let him. He decided to return it to the owner, hoping that doing the right thing would bring him good luck. When Jack returned the wallet, the owner was so grateful that he offered Jack a job. It was a simple job at a local shop, but it was enough to help Jack get back on his feet. For the first time in a long time, Jack felt like his luck was starting to change. Over time, Jack worked hard at his new job. He saved money and eventually moved into a nicer apartment. His life slowly improved, and he realized that honesty and hard work were the keys to his success. Jack's story is a reminder that even in difficult times, good things can happen.
The man in the dangerous forest. In a faraway land, there was a man named Tom who lived deep in the forest. The forest was thick and wild, and many people were afraid to go there. But for Tom, the forest was home. He knew every tree, every path, and every sound the forest made. The forest was not just beautiful, it was also dangerous. Wild animals roamed freely, and there were many hidden dangers. Tom had learned to survive by being careful and listening to the sounds around him. He knew that the forest could change in an instant. One day, while Tom was walking through the forest, he heard a strange noise. It was unlike anything he had heard before. He followed the sound carefully, making sure to stay hidden. As he got closer, he saw something that made his heart race. A large bear looking for food. Tom knew he had to be very quiet. Any sudden movement could attract the bear's attention. He slowly backed away, making sure not to step on any twigs or leaves. After what felt like forever, he was far enough from the bear to feel safe. Despite the dangers, Tom loved living in the forest. It was peaceful, and he enjoyed the challenge of surviving in such a wild place. The forest had taught him many lessons about life and survival. Tom knew that he would never leave, no matter how dangerous it became. Living in the forest had made Tom strong and wise. He learned to respect nature and understood that life was about balance. The dangers of the forest were real, but so were its rewards. Tom's story shows that sometimes the most dangerous places can also be the most rewarding.
That was a great conversation, Sarah. I hope our listeners learned some helpful tips today.
Yes, I hope so too. Keep practicing, everyone, and don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more English learning content.